The graph of three unknowns is a plane. The solution is written in X, Y, Z format. The most common procedure is to use elimination to eliminate one variable, and then use elimination or substitution to solve for the remaining two variables. Then substitute those values into an original equation to solve for the third variable. Here's an example of how to do that. We're given three equations within this system of equations, and there are three variables in each one. So we choose two of the equations that will line up and eliminate one of those. As you can see, plus z minus z eliminates itself, and so we're left with 3x plus y equals 4. Then we choose another two equations from the same system and create another equation by eliminating the same variable z. So we're left with 4x minus 3y equals 1. So now we have two x and y, or two variable equations, that we can then solve for x and y with. So now we're going to take those two equations that we created through elimination, and we're going to compare them. And if we multiply the second one times 3, then we can create a positive 3y in the second equation, which will help us eliminate the y variable term and come up with 13x is equal to 13, which gives x a value of 1. So we're going to sub that into one of those equations, 3x plus y equals 4. We get 3 plus y equals 4. And that tells us that y is also equal to 1. So now we know the value of x and y are both 1. We still need to find the value of z. So now that we have the values of x and y, we can go back to one of the original equations and substitute those values in to solve for z. Here we have 1 plus 2 plus z is equal to 4. 1 and 2 is 3, we subtract 3 from both sides, and we find that z is equal to 1. So now we can write the value for z into our solution, and this is how we would write that solution: 1, 1, 1 within parentheses in the proper format. In example 2, we have a system of three equations, and we're going to take the first two and compare them. So we have a negative y and a positive 2y. Since those are already opposites, we're going to multiply the first equation by 2. That's going to allow us to eliminate the y term and give us 5x plus 7z equals 26 for our first equation. And then we're going to take two other equations from the system. Since they already have a positive 2y and a negative 2y, we can eliminate those and get 2x plus 2z equals 8. So we have our two equations, and now we're going to use elimination to solve for one of the variables. So I'm going to multiply the top one by negative 2 and the bottom one by 5, so that my x terms will have the opposite value, and then that leaves me with a negative 4z is equal to a negative 12. So when I divide both sides by negative 4, I find that z is equal to positive 3. So now I'm going to take that positive 3 and substitute it back into my first equation, 5x plus 7z, and I get 5x plus 21 is equal to 26. So I subtract 21 from both sides, and that leaves 5x is equal to 5. So when I divide both sides by 5, x is equal to 1, and that allows me to write a part of my triple solution, the x and the z values at least. So I have 1, y, 3. Now I can take those two values for x and z back to one of my original equations and substitute them in to solve for the value of y. So now I have my solutions, 1 for x and 3 for z. I'm going to take just the first equation that's in the list, and I'm going to sub those values in for x and z. That gives me 2 minus y plus 9 equals 9. So when I subtract 11 from both sides, I get negative y is equal to negative 2, which we know we can't have. So we multiply both sides by negative 1, we get y is equal to 2, and that allows me to update my solution set to 1, 2, 3 for the values of x, y, and z. So let's review. To solve a system of three equations with three unknowns, create two systems of two equations where you eliminate the same variable from each. Do not use the same two equations for both systems. Use elimination or substitution to solve for the two variables remaining by combining the two new equations created. Return to an original equation and substitute in the two values you solved for to find the third. The format for a triple or plane solution is x, y, z. Thanks for joining us here at Jupiter Math. For more information about our math programs, contact learning@edugraphics.com.